What is Bagman doing? How does he eat with, is that a fidget spinner? Is it 2017? I'm so confused. Also, Bagman, what are you doing? DC Live is starting right now.
Hey, welcome everybody to DC Live.
We're back.
I got my special guest, Aiden Gilbert, once again, and so
dude, I'm so special, man.
You are incredibly special that we just can't keep but bringing you back, and so obviously is our other person who wears the bag over his head. He's kind of special too. I didn't know that he watched YouTube Live with us. I mean, our DC Live show. So
I figured he'd check us out once.
Okay, well maybe tonight. I don't know. Special guest. There you go.
Today, burning hot.
So hot. You know where I wish I was? I wish I was at the beach.
You know what? I think it'd be illegal to not have a gathering of 50 people and have a barbecue right now. All right.
Well, it is, so we can't. So yeah,
but it's a shame.
It is a shame. So, but what's interesting is like at the beach, like if we could be at the beach, we can't be at the beach. But like I was having like some memories, like flashback today because it was so hot.
You lived in Banning. There's no beach in Banning.
There's no beach in Banning.
What flashbacks are you having, Chief?
Do you know, I grew up in the desert, but do you know when I was in high school, I wanted to be a surfer so bad. I was a wannabe.
Well, you did have the long hair. You had the mullet, so it worked out.
I did have a mullet. Maybe one of these days I'll throw up a picture of me having a mullet. So maybe. But I bought a surfboard when I was in Banning.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long did that sit in the garage?
That sat there forever because there's no ocean in Banning. So
glad you figured that out after you bought it.
After. But being at the beach, hot day, man, just like, wouldn't it be fun to like be out on the beach and like make a sandcastle? Do you ever get into making sandcastles?
I did, yeah. I was a kid once, afraid of the water, like most kids.
Is that the people that make sandcastles or those that are afraid of the water? I guess you are kind of like building like a barricade, right? Yeah, trying to like protect yourself or something. Well, let's do this. Let's play a little game. We'll play this game. We'll call it like Sandcastle Guess. So what you're going to do is in the live chat, you're going to type in the name of the movie. And what I mean by that is we're going to show you a zoomed in picture.
Yes.
Of a sandcastle, and you're going to have to guess, like, whoa, what is that from? Because these are like works of art. Like these sandcastles
These are
like,
people who are super duper scared of the ocean.
They are very scared of the ocean. They spent like probably months building a sandcastle of like different like movie sets. So let's do this. Let's show you the first picture. It's a zoomed in picture, and it's going to come up on the screen. Now, you start guessing. What movie is this from? What sandcastle is this?
I think I want to play a game of my own. I want to guess what beach is that? That's some very yellow sand, man.
That is some really yellow sand. I don't know what beach.
Is that in Banning?
That might be in Banning.
That's in Banning.
You know what? We might have made that in Banning. Alrighty, you should have guessed by now. Let's show the answer. The answer is, well, that there it is. There's the answer. It's The Incredibles.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, look at that sandcastle. That's pretty impressive.
That's
yeah. That does look like it's in the desert. That does look like it's at the beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's play another one. Alrighty. So here's another. Ooh. Now this sand is kind of like chocolate brown.
All right.
I don't know what beach that is either. Like a dog beach, maybe.
It's probably Torrance Beach, man.
No, we don't want to go. We don't want to do that. Alrighty. So, like I said, this is a zoomed-in picture of a big, giant sandcastle. You should have put in your guesses. So, put your last guess. What sandcastle you think it might be, and well, shall we show the answer?
I think we shall.
Alrighty. It's Sesame Street. Yeah, that's nice. All right, another one. All right, here we go. Now this one is because it's a really tiny picture I got from the internet, and it was really,
You're telling me
tiny.
you didn't make that yourself?
I didn't make it myself.
Look like a selfie.
Don't know what's going on here, but it's a really, really tiny picture. So anyway, what movie is this from?
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you either. It's too tiny. I don't think anybody can tell. Let's go to the answer. So, already, and here's the answer.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
I was not allowed to read that as a kid.
Yeah, you weren't. Nope. I wasn't allowed to read it as an adult. I don't know who the camera guy is, by the way, that's in there. So
glad you stuck to the Bible instead of Harry Potter.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is he's not even looking at it. So alrighty, let's go to our last picture. Alrighty, for this one, we're gonna show you the entire sandcastle, and then look at the white arrows right basically by your chin there, Aiden. And so what we want is you to guess what person that is from Star Wars.
Because, that's clearly Star Wars.
That's clearly Star Wars. And that one character there with that arrow, let's see if students can guess who that character is. And the answer is, I have no clue. Do you know who that is?
If my eyes don't fail me, that is Darth Maul.
Okay, there you go. Well, if you wrote that, I guess you win.
If I'm wrong.
Even if you're wrong.
It's Darth Maul.
It's Darth Maul.
Me. And I'm the one that pretty much built it.
Okay, well, how about this? I'll accept Yoda.
No.
If it's Yoda, I'll accept Yoda. Alrighty.
That's sad.
That's very sad. Alright, well, thank you for playing that quick game with us. And, by the way, before we go any further, we have to do something. Something huge. Something very important. We have to do 2 shout-outs tonight. A shout-out to Noah Minigishi, and a shout-out to
Caden.
To Caden Boyson.
Dude, guys, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Should we sing happy birthday?
Quarantine birthdays are the best.
Yeah, let's not sing happy birthday. So, quarantine birthdays are not the best. But hey, YouTube Live, DC Live coming right at you. Happy birthday, Noah. Happy birthday, Caden.
You guys
are the best.
Respect.
Yeah. And, what's interesting, Aiden, is if they got a lot of money on their birthdays, they could buy this next product that is, this next product is part of one of our sponsors.
I actually saw the sponsor video this week, and believe it or not,
how did you see it? I mean, it's a commercial. I don't understand what's going on.
Well, they sent it to me early, right? We got a repeat sponsor.
We don't have I don't know if we have a repeat sponsor.
We got a repeat sponsor.
I don't know what's going on here. You know what? DC Live is never free, and so we always have sponsors. So, let's check out the sponsor video.
Did you forget the warning to not let Quarantine Monkey into your home? Looks like you did, and it looks like Quarantine Monkey brought his friends. Uh-oh, looks like they're up to no good. Careful going down the stairs. It's breakfast time. Is that your favorite cereal? Looks like Quarantine Monkey and his friends like it too. Uh-oh, looks like they ate all your cereal. Are you tired and want to take a nap? Looks like you're sleeping on the floor because Quarantine Monkey and his friends took over your bed. Need to get them out? Well, introducing Quarantine Cage. For $100, it's delivered right to your home and even comes with bait. Let's see if it works. Crack the door, place the bait inside, and wait for them to show up. It looks like you caught them. Uh-oh, did you forget to lock the cage? Looks like they escaped. What's this? Is Quarantine Monkey making your favorite meal? Is that a match? Quarantine Monkey should never play with fire. Oh, it looks like Quarantine Monkey is making a candlelight dinner for you. Uh-oh, don't fall for it. It looks like Quarantine Monkey and his friends baited you into the cage, and now you're locked in. Silly quarantine monkeys.
Wow, that I don't get it. But those quarantine monkeys, they sure seem pretty mischievous a lot of the times.
Mischievous.
Something like that.
Mischievous.
So, but yeah, pretty wild, man. And boy, that poor guy. I don't know who that is, but he sure has a lot of bad luck. So
I think there's one thing you're wanting to show us, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You know, what's interesting is, sock monkeys, were created at one time. You know, a lot of people do make sock monkeys. And, I made something this afternoon.
Did you?
Yeah, I went outside and I cut down a tree. And I made this table.
You going to show them the table?
Yeah, here. See, here's what I mean. See, there's the tree branches.
That's terrible, though.
Why is that terrible?
I don't know. I got a tweet from Smokey the Bear saying it's Earth Day, so don't cut down any trees.
Today's Earth Day. Oh, I cut down a tree. Okay, well, you know what? Let's play another game. And as we talk about creations, our own junior high staff had a lot of creations today.
Yeah?
Well, maybe not today. Maybe over time. But
it'd be pretty impressive.
It'd be pretty impressive. We've been seeing a lot of videos of the students, and this week we thought, why don't we check in on some of our staff, and why don't we check on maybe some of the things that they kind of made. So these are things that they actually made. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a picture of a creation. Then we're going to show a picture of multiple choice. 3 leaders to choose from.
Or staff members.
Yes, staff members. Yes. Alrighty. So let's do that. Let's show the first creation. Alrighty. So here's the first one. Ooh.
I like that one.
That's a nice looking lamp there, and so it's kind of cool. That looks like a craft that you can kind of do in a weekend. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah,
Alrighty,
or a day, right?
Or maybe a day. Let's take a look at our choices. Alrighty, which leader created this? So we have Michelle at the far left. We have Austin in the middle. And we have Daryl at the right there. So, so students, you're going to type in the live chat A, B, or C. And
I think all 3 of them made it together.
Ooh, I didn't think. I guess you could
maybe they
choose.
Skyped and
maybe they could choose all of the above. That's true. I didn't think about that. Well, the answer actually is C. Daryl Kwan made the lamp. That's insane. That's really impressive. Daryl is the man. Well, let's look at another creation from another leader. Nice home-cooked meal. Yeah, some mashed potatoes there.
That's a lot of gravy, man.
That's a lot of
They tried to drown their steak.
And we got a nice little salad there. Oh, man, I'm hungry.
Dude, it's missing the croutons, though, so it's not really a salad.
Okay. Well, let's see which leader made this. Let's take a look at the choices. So the choices are Pam, or Sierra, or Giselle. So A, B, or C. It's kind of interesting, thinking of Sierra. I mean, she's picking out a pumpkin right there,
Maybe she should put that in the salad.
Yeah, maybe she can put some of that in the salad. Makes me wonder if, did she go and, grab some other kind of fruits and vegetables, when she did that. So, yeah. A, B, or C. And the answer is A. It's Pam. Pam! Yeah! Man, made a delicious meal. Alrighty, let's go to the next creation. Alrighty. Ooh. Wow.
I mean, I took ceramics.
You took ceramics, Aiden.
I
Could you make that?
I never got to that level.
You never got to that level. Alrighty. Wow, that's really intricate. I mean, that looks like something you'd find in a museum. I mean, this might have taken a lot of time. I don't know. Maybe months. Years. Alright, let's take a look at the choices. Your choices are Avery is A for Avery. B for Kaylee, or C for Katie. So there are your choices. So we got B or C.
Yeah.
So you kind of you have this.
So why is everyone in a costume but Kaylee?
I don't know. That is interesting. And it seemed like it was something that of a base of Middle Eastern maybe. So maybe it wouldn't be Avery maybe, because I mean Avery is looking like he's wearing a Halloween costume. I don't know. You know what? The answer. Let's just get to the answer. You should put in your answers by now. A, B, or C, and the answer is B. It's Kaylee.
Kaylee.
Yeah, a little hint there. Alrighty, let's go to the next one. Next creation. Ooh, those flowers. Man, that's really impressive.
Wow.
Wow, I wonder if they grew them as well. You know, like, did they grow them and then they arranged it? That's pretty...
I don't think I'd have the heart to grow flowers and then take them out.
That's true. That'd make me pretty sad. All right, let's look at our choices. Alrighty, our choices for leaders are Reagan, A. B, that's Melinda, or Sean, I guess. You know, our
I think
our
Sean's
executive
pretty
preaching
artistic.
pastor. Yeah. And then there's Darren. You know, Darren's like a wild card. I mean, he's kind of like being a little beach bum right now, you know. So I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. I think Reagan did it, and he's trying to tell us something.
Ooh.
And
maybe.
Reagan, if it's true, I am very offended. I'm not invited.
Alrighty. Well, you don't have to be offended. Wait. Oh, I almost gave away the answer. They should have put in their answers A, B, or C by now. Well, it's no.
What's the answer?
The answer's just B. It's Melinda. Alrighty.
Oh,
there you
I
go.
thought Reagan for sure.
Alrighty. Let's go to the last one. Longboard. How the heck did they make
I
that?
thought they made the hose.
Nope. No, they made the longboard there. So, took some wood there and maybe like a chisel. I don't know. So, probably spent some
Oh yeah,
time.
they got a little tiny knife and they chiseled that all out.
Just whittled it down right there. Maybe they did it this afternoon.
Really?
Yeah, because after I cut my tree down, I took some of the tree to the
priority
dump.
mailed them some of your extra wood.
And I did it. Yeah, I had DHL go and pick it up same day, and they whittled that this afternoon. All right, let's look at the choices. So who would have all the energy to do that? Well, we have A is Ethan, and he's got the snake around him. Or B, Krista. Or C, Danny. So there you go. Alrighty, A, B, or C, students. Aiden, what's your guess?
I'm gonna go with the person I least expect.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Krista.
All right, Krista. And nope, that's not true. That is the least maybe to expect. But the actual answer is C. It's Danny. There you go. Staff creations right there.
Bummer.
Well, thank you for playing along, everybody. And we're excited that you have. And just a reminder, hang around to the very end, because what happens is all the winners from the first game, you went into a drawing. All the winners from the second game, you went into a drawing. And at the end, we're going to announce the winners. $10 gift card to Amazon. Stick around
Buy
for
yourself
that.
a mask.
Buy yourself a mask. There you go. Well, hey, we're really excited as we talk about creations, and like we were looking at all those fancy creations with the sandcastles, and it's interesting because we're kind of talking about a story today that Jesus talks about, where he talks about sand. And it's a really interesting, powerful story. We're starting a brand new series that's going to be going on the next 4 weeks. And it's called Facing What's Next. And what we're wanting to do, students, is the reality is that you're not going to be on lockdown forever. That at some point you're going to exit back into the kind of the real world, and we want you to do so with your faith intact. So it's incredibly important at this time that you continue to examine and deepen your walk with Christ. We're going to do that by looking at 4 stories, 4 teachings of Jesus. You know, we spent 3 weeks looking at these miracles of Jesus. And by doing that, we saw this incredible power that Jesus has. And it begged the question, who is this guy Jesus that he has the power to do this? And that incredible saving power. And these next 4 weeks, we're actually going to take a look at his teachings. We're going to contrast his teachings with this incredible authority that he has. So his miracles revealing his power, and his teachings revealing his authority. Incredible authority. And we're going to do that by looking at parables. Because these teachings, you don't need to be a straight A student to be able to get it. Jesus speaks in parables. And a parable was a story that was really meant to kind of surprise you, kind of grab your attention, make you go deeper in asking the question, who is this guy, Jesus. And what right does he have in saying the things that he has? So tonight, our first story that we're going to look at actually comes in Matthew chapter 7. And it's a really powerful story. And it comes at the end of a very long sermon that Jesus gives. So with that, let me take you there to Matthew chapter 7. And he tells a story as he wraps up this very long kind of sermon that he's been given. Let's take a look at verses 23 and 24 together. It says this: "Anyone who listens to my teachings and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. Though the rain comes in torrents, and the flood waters rise, and the winds beat against that house, it won't collapse, because it was built on bedrock." Verse 26. "But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on sand. When the rains and the floods come and the winds beat against that house, it will collapse with a mighty crash." So Jesus tells a story about two people who are building their life out. One who builds his life on a rock. The other who builds his life on a sand. And he kind of compares these two types of people to those who listen and actually do what he says. That is like a person who builds on a rock. And the person who listens but doesn't do anything, like a person who builds his life on the sand. And it's really interesting because, again, this teaching comes at the end of this very long sermon. And Jesus says, anyone who listens to my teachings. Well, Jesus said some incredibly radical things in this sermon, like, I want you to love your enemies. Anyone who has lust in his heart has committed adultery. Hey, don't judge, because in the way that you judge, you will be judged. And so Jesus comes at the very end and says, you know what? Anyone who listens to my teachings, and that's a key word. He's saying, my teachings, these teachings I just gave, that these are the teachings I want you to be able to listen to. So Jesus is making a huge contrast. A person who hears, and a person who hears and does, and a person who hears and doesn't do. I've already said that, but notice, both people actually hear. Both people are actually listening. So you know what, students? You can come to church. So on the outside, you can look like somebody who is hearing. But the doing part is when you start to really peel back and closely examine your life. See, at the end of the day, you can't keep pretending. At the end of the day, it really comes down to, are you going to live in and do what it is that he says? You know, Jesus says, if you do what I say, you know, that person is like they have it already concluded. They have it already resolved that the teachings that Jesus says are true. That he sees, or she sees that, man, there's authority behind these teachings, and that their life is so rooted and so deeply genuine that they naturally want to follow and do what Jesus says. But the foolish person, no, they just show up. They're just hanging around, and they're like their life is on the sand. I want to illustrate it by doing this, because you know it's really fun. We took a look at sandcastles, right? It's funny to think about kids and building sandcastles. Sandcastles don't last long at all. There's nothing you can do to build a fortress with a sandcastle.
You could build one in your backyard.
Yeah, you probably could, but it's not going to last, right?
No.
So it's kind of silly to think of it because there's no foundation whatsoever. So let me illustrate it. Watch this video here. Oh, here's Terry trying to save a sandcastle.
Dude, that guy's not a Terry, man. That's a Chad. Alright, that guy's such a Chad.
Looks like he lost his shovel for a second.
You got him, man.
Look, he gave up. Oh, here's a little dachshund.
I don't like dogs.
the tiniest dog just took out that sandcastle. No, nothing to it. Now here's a TV reporter admiring this hour spent.
He should push her.
Yeah. Oh, she did fall. Here's another award-winning sandcastle with Lego people. And you see them perched up high, hanging out on these ledges, thinking they have all the security, but in the end, it is going to be washed away. Jesus said that all people are going to experience the battering of storms and trials. Jesus said the wise man built his house on the rock, which was an Old Testament reference. In Psalm 18:2, it says, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my savior. My God is my rock, in whom I find protection. He is my shield, the power that saves me, and my place of safety." When we step off this rock, we are like the Lego people here, where the dam breaks and it all falls apart. Christianity is a relationship. It's not something you just think about on a surfacey level. The danger is you might wind up like the fool in this life and in a future judgment, whereas Jesus says, great will be the fall, and you might find yourself separated from him for eternity. Alrighty. Well, Paul says in Colossians 2:7, let your roots go down deep into Jesus and let your lives be built on him, and your faith will go strong in the truth as you were taught. I want to share just a quick story about a friend of mine. When I was a youth pastor in Whittier at this church, and there was this kid named Paul, and he was in my small group. And Paul went to church every Sunday. And Paul was like always answering the questions during small group time. He brought his Bible. And but Paul, during the week at school, lived nothing like what he was learning at church. And I remember one time I looked at Paul and I said, Paul, you have to at some point look at Jesus and say, does Jesus have the authority? Does Jesus have the right to say these incredible things? And do I really have to follow this out? And Paul looked at me, he says, Lloyd, I'll get serious later. I'll be serious like when I get into college or like when I get married. That's when I'll take it for serious. Like going to church is fun right now, but later I'll get serious about it. But later never came for Paul. And you see, Paul started jumping into parties on the weekends. He'd go to parties on Fridays and Saturdays, church on Sunday. Then Sunday saw him not come around anymore. You see, when it says that the foolish person built his life on the sand and that it collapsed, that word collapse has a figurative sense of abandonment. You see, and that's what Paul eventually did. That over time, Paul eventually abandoned his faith. He eventually saw that Christianity for him was kind of silly. And that I remember one time he told me, he goes, I kind of outgrown this. I just don't need it anymore. Well, unfortunately, Paul's life fell apart. That he eventually dropped out of high school because his grades suffered so bad from all the partying and the drinking. And eventually, Paul wound up as a 20-year-old homeless in Los Angeles. It was an incredibly sad story. So, again, students, that there are times that we have to stop and say, we got to be serious about what Jesus is really teaching. And that we have to start to apply it to our lives. That our faith has to start to take root. Well, with that, Michelle has a super easy practical application for us. A really easy example. Watch the video.
Michelle, it looks ridiculous in here. I need you to clean this up before I come back from running my errands.
Sure, whatever. I'll have time to do it after my nap.
2 hours later.
Michelle, the family's here. I told you to clean up.
I didn't expect you to bring people home.
Michelle, it looks ridiculous in here. I need you to clean this up before I come back from running my errands.
Wow, there's a lot to do. I should clean up before I take my nap. Oh, hey, Mom. You got back early.
Wow! Thanks for cleaning up so much. The party's gonna be here soon.
See, we know that the Bible says to honor and obey our parents, but we don't always live by that. We know that we should be acting in a certain way, but we don't always do that. Our actions don't always match our knowledge. We listen, but we don't always do what God tells us to do.
You know, as Jesus finished his sermon, I want you to notice the reaction of the crowd. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, for he taught with real authority. Junior high students, do you believe that Jesus should have the authority to speak into your life? Can you trust him that he knows what's best for you? And lastly, do you believe that what he says is true? That, man, if you don't really live into this, your life can fall apart. Well, with that, let me just pray real quick for us. And then we've got some quick announcements and our winners. And let me pray. Father God, thank you again for this time here tonight. Lord, continue to go before us. And Lord, show your authority to us. Lord, use the story of this wise man and foolish man and this sand parable story to grab our attention and make us think, are we really living into what it is that you've called us into? We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Alrighty. Hey, I have some quick announcements. Hey, you'll notice tonight we turned off the live chat during the talk. And because, again, we want you to live into this. We want you to go deeper into your faith. And so, with that, I want to say thank you for going on that journey with us. The live chat is obviously back on. And so, real quick, some quick announcements. One, tonight we're doing small groups, just like we used to at church, just virtual. So tonight we're not doing house party. Instead, we're going into Zoom. So all of 6th grade, you're going to go into a Zoom room with Sierra. All of 7th grade, you're going to jump in on a Zoom hangout with me. And then all of 8th grade, you're going to jump in a Zoom hangout with Michelle. And so we will post in the chat, once again, all of those meeting rooms, all the IDs and the passwords. Your parents have the email as well that has them. So students, please jump into small groups with us. As you jump into the Zoom hangout, we're going to play like a quick little game. Then we'll break you off. So you're going to be with your leaders. And we're going to have some opportunity for you guys to have some question times and your leaders to kind of pray with you as well. So, with that, we have the winners to announce. Alrighty, Michelle texted me. And so let me pull up the text. And let's take a look at the winners tonight. So, hey, for the Sandcastle winners, it is Bella Ponciano. You won. And for Guest to Staff Creation, it is Sophia Miller. So there's your winners tonight. Glad you guys showed up tonight. Don't forget that in about 5 minutes, about 6:40ish, we're going to have our Zoom hangouts. So go ahead and start jumping in, and we're going to have a great time tonight. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Peace. And we'll see you guys back
out
next Wednesday night for DC Live.